You make those bigger.
Because I had to put it down. Now it's back up.
Okay, so we'll just make sure it's unmuted. Okay. Hopefully everyone on Instagram can hear us.
I'm like thinking now, like, how do we start the show? I'm like, do I say something in the beginning, or we just kind of go?
No, we always the past couple ones you've been talking about stupid sponsors, but no one cares about
I didn't do
those.
it the last 2 ones. Reptile's backed out.
Reptile's backed out?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to make this bigger because I want to see the viewers. There you go. Because see, 2 people are watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
2 people are watching on YouTube. Okay. Well, no one's on Instagram and Facebook, but that's okay.
Yes, but we're talking in podcast land.
I know.
In future podcast land.
Oh, so in the future for people to download.
Yeah, so you can't like talk like there's no one there because there's really people there.
Once they download, that makes sense.
So how dare you disrespect them? Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry. People are driving to work right now or cleaning snake shit.
Okay, whatever.
And you're just disregarding their day-to-day grind.
Ian says, "What's up?"
What's up, Ian?
Okay, so let's start. We're gonna start. Do you want to start on a kind of sad?
Yeah, I guess so. So everyone in the reptile community has probably heard or realized all the posts about Ben Rennick, who passed away last week.
This week. No, last week. It's Tuesday.
Right.
Sorry.
So I didn't want to get too much into it, but just a giant player. You know, we had mentioned him early on how he changed marketing for all big breeders. You know, probably one of the best ball python breeders in the world, or retic breeders in the world. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. And condolences to his family. And the GoFundMe page will link up in the description of the podcast, and then as well as in the YouTube video.
I have a question. How long had he been big in the reptile world? How long had he been around?
He was 29. He had been around since I believe he was a kid, so maybe around 18 or even before that is when he started his collection up. So if you can think about how crazy, big and how accomplished he was in just a few short
11 years.
When you're thinking if you're breeding pythons, they don't breed for 3 to if it's a ball python, maybe 2 to 3 years, but some larger pythons, 5 years, stuff like that. So what you're able to accomplish in that short amount of time.
That's a lot to make 11 years to make such a big difference and an impact. And basically even be able to breed that many. Was his collection on the bigger, one of the biggest, or I really don't know much about him. Was it that big or?
Yes.
I'm trying to think of something to compare it to. I don't even know what you could even compare it to.
You can see videos online if you wanted to.
Okay.
Exactly, but.
And he mostly did ball pythons?
Ball pythons, retics, did even some green anacondas.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it, but I'm sure he had a bunch of other stuff, just like all the other snake people have,
Right.
We
Except
all have
for you.
our main things. And then, what do you mean? I have.
Oh well, I mean ball
things.
pythons and stuff.
No, I'm saying most of the people who are into snakes have all kinds of snakes, whether they mean to or not.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up with
So he had some other random little things,
random, right?
But his big thing or major
if you
thing.
like snakes, you just like all different kinds of snakes, and then you can get very distracted.
And he lived in Missouri?
Yes.
Is that a really good climate for all different types of snakes?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's not Africa. But,
okay.
So, Wes said fidget spinner sponsor. We were dropped from the fidget spinner team.
Past fidget spinners. But that makes me think, totally off topic. There was a meme going around for 90s kids fidget spinners. It was the ruler and a rubber band and a pencil. And I totally remember doing. You never did that?
No. Well,
you were a lame 90s kid. Excuse me.
Yep. So Jack O'Hara said, or feeding snakes. Is that what you're doing when you're listening?
I wasn't. You say I was disrespecting future people, not current people.
Yeah, future and current people are pretty much in upror at this point.
Oh my God, shut up. Okay, what are we talking about today?
We tried, or I tried, fucking Reptilinks.
Yeah. Yeah, we tried them.
We tried them.
We ate some Reptilinks.
Right. Whole prey.
So describe exactly what Reptilinks are.
Reptilinks this is not a paid sponsorship, as every
We
paid
wish.
sponsor we've ever had is a joke.
We wish we could get some paid sponsors on here. I'll say, hey, Reptilinks, if you want to.
And Repti hats dropped out, man.
They didn't want us. But maybe Reptilinks.
Reptilinks is
an actual real company, unlike Repti.
Yes. And it's basically what I got was mostly for the hog nose, which I got a frog sausage. So the frog sausage, it was just looked like, those like Jimmy Dean breakfast sausages, those little ones.
Mm-hmm. They're coming in little
brown
packages.
Ones.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have like a casing on them, but they're like kind of wrinkly or some shit.
Okay, I don't eat them enough.
But those microlinks kind of look like that.
Really? So there's I thought there'd be a casing on them.
There was not like a very solid casing on them, but then I got a bigger ones that did have a solid like collagen casing that they tied off at both.
Were the bigger ones still frog or something different?
It was frog and rabbits, so I guess for some reason maybe they don't make bigger sizes than just frog.
Maybe they don't with the rabbit. They need the casing to like stick it together. I don't know
because frog is very like white meat.
Really? Maybe that's why. I've totally had frog legs.
Yeah, it's like a very, somewhere in between a fish to a chicken texture.
Right? But what is rabbit like?
I don't know.
Never
a wild game where I've probably had rabbit. I just don't remember.
I think that's something you'd remember.
No,
rabbit is a pretty.
No, there's rabbit in a bunch of shit.
What do they put rabbit in? They just
Reptilinks. So
okay,
so I put it in the Reptile.
Okay.
So I was a little disappointed by the collagen one. I feel like the smell didn't transfer outside of the collagen casing.
So the whole point of it is for helping for scenting, and that the snakes would want it. And if they can't smell it.
What's good about the little one is seems like it was straight up meat. Like it didn't have a thick casing around it.
And so they could smell it.
There is a casing, but must be very, very small. Mm-hmm. I forget what the name of the fucking thing is that they case it in, but in other words, I think it let that scent come out, and like the hognose was
very attracted to it. Okay.
Yeah. Our little male ate like 3 of those in one sitting.
Are they like this big?
Yeah, they're I think 3 to 5 grams, which equals like a small pinky or large pinky rather.
And have you had trouble in the past with the hognose and pinkies, or they're fine, or
he's decent, but I wanted to see if he would, be a lot more
enthused
if it was frog. So he ended up being a lot more. I had in the past put some like tuna scenting on it.
Right.
And then he ate that, and then he's eating pinkies with nothing on it. But the fact is that he's kind of picky in the way he will go back and forth. So,
but the Reptilinks you were trying is to be like a future, just hoping he would, be super into it and always eat that.
Yeah, and then I just kind of wanted to experiment at the same time. Hognose aren't going to be eating a lot of. He's not going to be able to find pinky mice in the wild and eat pinky mice. What they're eating is mostly going to be toads and frogs. So that's why you scent with tuna, because I'm guessing a frog is very similar to a fish scent.
That's what I would think.
So therefore, they think it's a frog. So that's why they eat it.
Okay.
Or they think it's a toad. So
that the smaller ones worked well,
but the bigger one did not work. I tried to give it to a bunch of different snakes, and they do have like a frog scenting, like a frog juice that you can put on there. So maybe if I did
if you like dunked it in that
so there's
first.
Still some experimenting to do.
So did none of them eat the bigger one?
No, and I thought it was a little bit too like thick. It was
the casing or just the whole thing itself?
The casing, but the sausage itself, I thought it was going to be elongated more, but it was kind of as thick as it was wide. It was a chode.
Chode is the word I was thinking, but I didn't want to say it.
But that's like the best way to explain it.
Exactly the word I was thinking was chode.
Yeah.
So just people said, so rabbit tastes like chicken. So which I didn't expect. So that's interesting I wonder why they need to put a casing on the bigger one if rabbit and frog are similar.
Well, no, it's just the size of it, I think. So they only make micros in that original case, in that
whatever it is.
The micro is a different style than the big one, and the big one I guess the bigger it gets, they need the
More
casing, the more
thing
casing.
to hold it
I
in.
don't know. I don't know.
I don't know
But-
how sausage works.
So I haven't been really successful with the bigger ones.
So what are you going to do with them?
I don't
Just
know.
keep. Are you going to buy the frog juice?
No, I'm gonna keep on fucking with it. I'm gonna see what I can get to eat it. But then again, also I don't want to feed it to all my snakes because I don't want them to get hooked on, sausages.
Why?
And then because they're expensive.
Oh, okay.
So pinkies comes out to about 30 cents each.
Okay.
I can get 50 pinkies for $15. Large pinkies.
Mhm.
And then the micro links that are the same size as the large pinkies are going to be $35, coming to about 70 cents a piece. So
Okay.
it's 30 cents a piece to 70 cents a piece,
Mhm.
which isn't a big deal until you're strictly feeding them.
Right. If you're
And then it's
right
double,
then.
a little bit more than double
Mhm.
the cost. But it was definitely easy to do.
Okay, for when it worked, but
Yeah.
there's no. It's nice because there's no
For hog nose,
preparation.
it was super cool.
There-
Yeah, and it thawed really quick, and like it wasn't smelly or anything.
You don't have to
'cause
use
frog doesn't really
pliers
smell
and
bad.
all that kind of stuff. You can touch a
was super
little
easy.
sausage as much as you want.
Yeah,
it's not.
it was still like I
Was it
still
still-
treated it like it was a mallet. Like I still
Oh,
washed
really?
my hands and stuff, but
Oh.
I mean it's frog though, right? You just eat that.
But it has a
shit.
casing, and
But
right,
it's
and
also
people
raw,
just eat.
though, so
Oh.
and it's whole prey, so the bones and stuff are in
Oh,
there.
we're still in there. Okay.
So what they do is like they gut them out. So all there's things that can be
some insides,
toxic,
some
But
gizzards.
then again, snakes eat that in the wild. But I think once you break it down and put it in all the meat, I'm sure it's not great for them. But
I mean, and
I
we
don't
don't want
know.
to touch it. Sorry, some people are joining. So Evan, we're talking about right now, Reptilinks. That's what Joe tried recently with his hog noses and some other ones. And you've come to the conclusion that at least in the first trial, the smaller Reptilinks with minimal casing worked better than the larger ones. Is that frog juice expensive?
no, but
But it's just like another
expensive
step.
to what? I mean, I think what they're doing is just taking the frog legs, and when they grind them out, there might be a little juice that's left over, and somehow they.
I wonder why they
harvest
couldn't
that,
put
per
that
se.
juice in the link though to make it
no,
a stronger
I think it was
smell.
also to cater to hognose breeders who scent anyway. So
They're
wasn't
expecting.
specifically
Are they?
for the
They're
sausage,
expecting you to scent. Okay, so you could use that frog juice for other stuff, not just
for
the
most
Reptilinks.
hognose, you're gonna scent no matter what. So.
Gotcha.
And,
So,
Baron Hansen asked,
sorry.
looking for a Western hognose, what's a good site to get one? What I would do is go to like the Hognose Classifieds or Colubrid Classifieds on Facebook. Right now, it's going to be out of season. I mean, there are a few good hognose guys. I don't know why I can't remember his name right here in Fort Worth. There's a good hognose breeder. Evan, help me out. A really big hognose breeder. I believe his company is Extreme Hogs. But
Okay.
there's quite a few in this area, but you can get them off his website. I mean, he has like the best albinos, exanthics, bright stuff,
All that
cool
kind of stuff.
all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
How long have you had your hog noses?
I've had my hog noses for maybe 10 months now. It's definitely not
Really?
If you're gonna have a North American colubrid, that's definitely not the easy one to get. I was surprised because.
But that's weird. That doesn't sound like it'd be difficult.
Yeah, but I mean, they're toad eaters.
Okay, and not many people are
So,
interested in that.
I mean, I have gotten them to eat. So my female eats readily on mice all the time. But that male, he's on and off. It's kind of like, fluctuations in temperatures also get him off. So there's a little bit more
picky
than the other
but
ones.
clearly you've made it work without having toads, so
Yeah. But I mean, it's not as mindless as saying having a corn snake or a king snake. So it wouldn't be something where I'd say if it's your first snake, you're gonna have a much better experience if you're getting
something that's not
corn
as
snake
picky
or a king snake.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's definitely like a little bit next level. Not really as far as keeping, but as far as the other aspects, getting it to eat stuff like that, like it doesn't have crazy environmental factors that you have to contend with. You just gotta get them to eat.
Okay, back to the
Maybe scenting and
Reptilinks.
stuff. Yeah.
Is there? So can you, when you go to order it, do you order it by what insides you want, by what meat you want? So is there like frog ones, and then what other type of insides, I guess, do they have?
Let's see if I can get off the top of my head. I mean, they have quail, they have rabbit, they have frog.
Who would be into kale? I mean, kale. Excuse me, quail.
Vegetarian hipsters. Quail. I'm not. I mean, they say that like a lot of carpet pythons and stuff like that eat birds.
Isn't quail super like rough or like as far as taste?
I don't. They don't care.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking for humans, which is not the purpose. Someone asked, corn snakes baby won't eat pinkies. Tried everything. Braining live, thawed. Only will eat lizards. But he's scared about parasites.
I would try going from lizards is to, freeze a lizard, thaw it out. Try to give a frozen thawed lizard. If that doesn't work, then if that works, then do frozen thawed lizard, scent a pinky with it. So just rub that lizard all around.
So it can get used to the smell of a pinky.
Or like Evan said, if you have a lizard molt, which means, when they shed their skin, wrap a pinky in it and you can give it to
a little turducken.
Yeah, but like
turducken version.
But like sometimes it just doesn't,
So it's like you're tricking it. You're tricking it to eat what you want it to eat, basically.
Yeah, so like that's sun glow. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, if it doesn't eat, then you assist feed it.
Yeah, so that's assist feeding is the last resort, though, right?
Last resort, but I mean, sometimes it comes quick with a little colubrid if you have a little.
If they're a baby, because I mean, lizards are just not practical to always feed. You definitely want to be able to get it to pinkies.
And then, like Tattoo Highway said, boiling it. I don't know how that works for other people. It hasn't worked for me from when the sun glow was supposed to eat boiled pinkies off the bat.
Speaking of, you just made a video about that.
I wouldn't mind doing boiled pinkies, but it hasn't worked.
It's not making any difference.
I also tried my picky feeder frogs, corn snake, my picky feeder corn snake
with the Reptilinks?
With Reptilinks frogs, and she didn't touch it. She didn't give a fuck.
She is just so particular.
And then from what I noticed, when I left it there overnight, because I thought maybe she was just shy, I'll leave it there overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up being all dried up and stuff in just a couple hours. So those Reptilinks,
if they don't get
eaten in a couple hours, then they dry up and get kind of hard.
I wonder why, because normal sausage doesn't do that.
I don't usually defrost normal sausage, leave it half raw, and then
we cook it. Never mind. What am I saying? So, like, I don't know how raw sausage works. Never mind.
Yeah, so I think there's just a bunch of different factors to where, if you left a fucking raw chicken out overnight, it would look disgusting by the morning. So I don't know. So
Reptilinks are definitely something where if they don't eat it right away, pass it on to the next person. Or
give it a few hours. Yeah, I mean, even that sausage in the collagen casing, I try to give it to another hognose that eats well. Didn't work. Then try to give it to the corn snake or to a pine snake.
Didn't do
give
it.
A fuck. I just don't think it tasted, because like
they just
pine snakes don't give a fuck what they're eating. It's just maybe it just didn't have any scent to it.
And that's mainly how they decide what they want, is by what it smells like, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm assuming. But yeah.
Did you try it with the king snake?
Oh, it would have fucking ate it. Right. I didn't want to fuck with it because I knew she was gonna eat it.
But you didn't want to throw it, so you just threw it away?
I've been giving her way too much random shit to eat. I don't need to start giving her all types of random shit.
She's like the garbage disposal.
After the pine snake, because I left it in there because the pine snake doesn't like you fucking around, or else
while she's eating.
Fuck out. So so I just left it in there. Then it dried out.
Okay, so you didn't really want to pass it on to something else.
It was done, so even though she would have still eaten it. But so I went to Evans.
Yes, you did go to Evan Carpet Cartel.
If you listen to the podcast, then you know who Evan, or you have an idea at least who
Evan is, because we say his name probably 30 times each podcast.
So I went over and checked out his collection. And we're going to make a little YouTube video.
Evans mostly has what?
Green trees.
My favorite. You know, definitely a supporter of that.
Yeah. He has he has a king snake too.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a Cali king.
I feel like he doesn't post pictures of that.
Well, he got it from his buddy, Brian.
That's why he doesn't post pictures of that, because Brian is not his buddy.
No, I'm just fucking.
I know.
It's true, but
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Also, but
Oh my God, you're ridiculous.
well,
Okay.
and then what else did he have? He had a couple ball pythons. Those were cute.
Are all king snakes as
eat anything? Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was
Absolutely.
specifically your Mexican black king snake or it's just all in general, kind of fits
All
all of them, or just like garbage disposals.
Yeah.
That's so weird to me.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome. We're doubling down because nothing else is eating.
Just pass it on over.
Yeah. I forgot. I thought I was gonna fucking say something.
You're just talking about Evan.
He had one. He had a caramel coastal carpet who was influenced by the green trees and was just posted up on a branch like.
They copy each other?
No, but it's like it was a caramel coastal, which I've never seen perching
on
before.
A branch.
It was just fucking perching.
It was just hanging out.
Yeah, just like the green trees.
They go together. They've been together for so long. Evan,
he blamed it on his wife
for it perching.
For his California king snake.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No. Wes said, thaw it, drop it in a pot of boiling water for 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds-ish.
Just raises the heat high without cooking it. Gets the scent out in a stronger manner. I feel like you did it for longer. Well, I don't know. I just saw the video. I didn't see you actually.
No, yeah. I mean, maybe I'll try that because I left it boiling for a while. I was like, let's cook this fucking thing.
Did it like change how it looked?
Oh yeah, it was cooked.
Okay.
It smelled like ramen noodles too.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
So maybe flash boiling, but what?
Yeah, because it's I'm guessing I'll thaw it out first. Oh yeah, you said thaw it and
and so that still gets the same like similar texture, but it strengthens the scent. But
I've tried braining. I mean, that's just silly though with a pinky to where if you cut the brain open, the whole thing, it's kind of like a water balloon when you're fucking with pinkies.
Okay.
They don't have much bone structure. It's like a big old bag of blood.
So braining can get a
little... you cut it and it fucking pops. So
that's disgusting. And Evan said, Evan, you shouldn't eat ramen.
Eat ramen anyway.
We're grown adults.
We're
past eating ramen or like just the bag hard ramen. You can eat like real ramen.
Hakata ramen.
That's the one near us. Yeah. I don't know, which we still haven't tried. But like the bag ramen, no person over the age of 21 should eat that. I think he shouldn't do ramen.
How dare you? Sometimes you got to eat ramen.
I mean, I still think it's delicious. I'm not saying I love ramen, but I do better.
Do you put 2 packets of seasoning?
No, but I do that. I lick it all at the end because when you eat it raw, which is really, really bad when you eat it raw.
Disgusting.
I used to do that in school, in elementary school, until it got banned from my elementary school.
Why did your parents let you go with a block of dry ramen?
My parents weren't watching me that hard. I grab it that your parents didn't fucking check your backpack on the way out the door.
Yeah, but don't they like pack you a lunch or like give you lunch money? They don't give you a block of ramen and
no, they didn't give it to me. 4. I got it out of the pantry and put it in
block
my
of ramen. A block of ramen and a piece of government cheese and make it work.
Someone's actually asking a snake related question. Let's get back on topic. He said, I've seen people feed beef heart slices to corn snake. What?
I mean, some snakes will eat anything. I don't see why that would be terrible.
Where do you get that from?
They're not really eating beef hearts, though, in the wild.
Where you can just buy that from the grocery store, some beef hearts?
In some
different grocery store.
In Alabama, when you went to, like, Piggly Wiggly, there was types of pieces of animals you never fucking knew.
Well, that's Alabama because they get fucking the horns, the lips, the
every
tongue,
part of a pig,
the ears, the cheeks, the shoulder,
the back hair of a pig. You put it in stew, you know,
every single part.
Fish heads, you know.
But why would someone even go to trying beef hearts for corn snakes? I just feel like there's a lot of steps
in between
before that, right? Like
I stick with rats.
I would assist feed before.
Mice.
Beef hearts, because that's not going to help you. I mean, they might eat it, but that's not going to help you get any closer to them eating pinkies. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, unless you rub them. I don't even know what beef hearts look like.
I've had lots of beef liver.
Could you like put the pinky in the middle of a beef heart?
I don't think beef heart's gonna make them eat.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right route to go. I would definitely never do that. Okay, they're talking about spread. Evan and Wes are just talking about ramen. I don't know, something about a spread. I've never heard this ramen
We're
spread.
clearly uninformed.
I mean, I did the raw stuff, but I didn't do it. But Wes did ramen, chili, Fritos, and cheese dip. What the hell? Wait, is that raw ramen? Or cooked ramen with chili, Fritos, and cheese dip? They both equally sound weird.
Well, I don't know, man. Yeah, I guess it's not cooked.
So tuna, have you? I know you sent with tuna, but have you ever tried straight?
Oh, he
tuna?
Said it was cooked. Like giving it tuna?
Yeah.
No, because I don't want it to just eat tuna.
To just get you right. Pinky. That's the hard part. Like when you give them food, they might eat it, but you're not going to move to.
I've never done it. Well, I've tried it with corn snakes, but I've never had it happen successfully.
You've never been successfully. Now that Sunglow, who has
also, you can use sardines as well. That's probably even a more fishy of a fish.
It's very strong.
That nasty goo that comes in sardines,
and you already got the juice in there. You can just. Yeah. So that Sunglow, I know it has issues with feeding. Does it just not show any interest? Does it show some and then back away?
But I think it just wants to like protect itself, and then it says fuck off, and then
so it doesn't want to make the effort to really. But you would think after leaving it in there, it's like, okay, no one's messing with me, I can make my move. But she just kind of doesn't want
I mean, some of them you gotta also, you have like the deli cup trick where you can put them in a deli cup.
You've done it with your hognose.
Did it with the hognose,
so they can't go anywhere else, right?
Yeah, or for her, she's much more active at
night. Holy fuck!
There goes Instagram. She's way more active at night.
Sound
What is happening?
I don't know what's happening. We dropped the phone and it fucked up.
It's making a weird sound.
It's because this isn't plugged in all the way. There you go.
Ooh, sounds so good.
But it still's making a weird sound at my computer.
Back.
We're sorry that we really fucked up.
No sound. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. Sorry. We fucked up.
You can hear us now, though, right?
He knocked over my phone.
The fucking phone isn't connected to anything.
You still knocked over my phone.
It knocked over. It fell.
It fell, and it knocked shit out. We're sorry. That was just, if you heard me say holy fuck, that's when it got knocked over and everything went bad.
Yeah. Okay.
We are back. And
I need another beer. I should have gotten a beer while that
happened. You drink too.
Yeah.
And we missed things. Okay. Evan says tuna on a pinky might get a hit. Right. That's what you've done. You've scented it. And what the fuck?
Fuck.
Thank you. He said he tried chicken and tuna scenting for a pinky. Have you ever tried chicken?
I've given chicken to my king snake.
Just like
we went over that. She'll eat anything. So
right. So but not for corn snakes. He said the snake runs from the chicken. I don't know. Corn snakes and chicken. They seem to like fishier.
At some point, you have to assist feed.
I think it seems like Nathan has tried a bunch of shit, and it's time.
I mean, yeah, it depends how long it's been. I don't know how long he's been trying to mess around.
But enough time to nope, wrong thing. Enough time to try all these different things.
Chicken broth.
Dipping a pinky in chicken broth. Huh.
And the braining things worked for me for ball pythons. Never really did it with corn snakes because pinkies, it just doesn't
Right. It doesn't work with, you don't need all that.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, they're so small. But I mean,
or try live, I guess. But I mean, for some reason, it doesn't even seem to make a difference because a pinky is not going to move much.
It's still a pinky.
The reason why ball pythons are easier to start with live is because you could give them like hoppers and they're moving around a lot, so that will get a good strike.
It's a hopper.
It's like a young mouse.
Is it hopping?
Yeah, it hops a lot.
What? I don't know. I just never heard that.
I don't know.
Never heard that.
Just get rid of corn and get a king snake, and you can get rid of the corn at the same time.
Ew. So he's been trying for 2 weeks. That's not long at all.
No, yeah, that's not that bad. I mean, it depends. Is it a hatchling, or did you get it as a hatchling, or did you breed it?
There's a bunch of different factors.
So yeah,
Jinx.
but carpet pythons will eat every time you put a fucking. Once they get started, they'll eat. Same with, I guess, any animal. Once you get them started. Although the hognose go on and off, though. That's like one that I've had.
But all the rest, once you get them started,
usually when you get them started, then they're good to go.
That's what the downside of like the beef hearts or like something else. You're just trying to get them to eat, but you want them to give
ball python gerbils. You're fucked. You're fucking giving them gerbils now forever.
That sounds terrible.
Ball pythons seem to be something that once you get them something good and they like it, they may stay with that. So if you start giving them African soft furs, they're going to eat that forever. So
where do you get African soft furs?
People breed them just for ball pythons. So
specifically just for them.
Yeah, because that's what they eat in the wild in Africa.
Wow, that just seems like an unnecessary level unnecessary level to go to.
They're little assholes.
But if you feed them live?
You can feed them live or frozen, I believe.
But if they're frozen, it doesn't matter. Well, I guess for who's ever breeding them it sucks.
They'll literally like bite the shit out of you immediately if you put your hand.
Are they just like little ones, or I mean, is there different? You get different sizes.
They're
in them?
They're not like rat size, like our rat size. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're more maybe like a large mouse.
Okay.
Of a size,
but by ball pythons just seen.
They just really, really love them. I mean, that's what they eat in the wild. So maybe that's they got something going there. That's why I fucking
got out of the ball python game.
But hognose want frogs. I mean, that's just what they eat.
Right.
What we're trying to do is fucking change their.
We're trying to change them to make it easier on us.
So even a baby corn snake in the wild is going to probably be eating mostly anoles. So.
Mm-hmm. And you don't.
Who are we to start giving them something else? I mean,
humans.
They're very.
We're humans
who try to make
want things for us.
So, I think it is a lot easier to get them on warm-blooded prey and mice and stuff like that. Just because corn snakes are easy like that. They're just much more opportunistic, I think, in the wild. But
except for your sunglow.
But like ideally, that little corn snake, they're not going to be taking down anything large. They're going to be eating little lizards, little toads, probably little whatever the hell they can get their hands.
Where does Big Cheese? Well, the place here, do they only sell rodents, or they sell like lizards and other stuff too?
Like day-old chicks. No one really breeds lizards for food.
So where do people
you catch them outside? I mean,
you just have to go outside and get them.
Hopefully, you live in the southeast and you can find anoles. If you don't, I mean, there's some other ones. I mean, you can find house geckos. That might work. My voice cracked again.
Okay.
Or you can just buy anoles off a website. They're probably $5 to $10, but you can't breed them in a way that it is cheap enough to sell.
Really?
Yeah.
They're just very difficult to breed. The lizards don't seem that difficult. I mean, I don't know anything about them.
Well, no, it's just not cost effective.
Just because no one's really buying it.
Your boy Kevin asked, "Will you be upset if I leave?"
No.
Will you?
No.
I won't take it personally.
It's okay.
Not this time.
Sorry. If you freeze a null, would it kill off any parasites?
I mean, there's a risk that you're taking, but for the most part, freezing it, you'll be good to go. And I mean, I don't like live prey is a different story. I mean, that could definitely cross-contaminate things.
He said we're boring.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay. Thanks. That's awesome.
I didn't know you'd be a dick about it.
I don't know.
You're being nice.
Just said we're boring. Okay. So,
But yeah, Nathan says he lives in Florida, which there's anoles everywhere.
but are there parasites on all those anoles?
Well, there's always a possibility. So you want to put them in the freezer and freeze them. And then if they can eat frozen thawed anoles, that might even be a decent, prey item to get pretty consistently if you're catching them out there.
Now that Kevin's gone, I'm gonna say fuck you, Kevin. Don't ask me if we'd be upset if you leave and then said you're boring. Fuck you for your Snapchat picture.
He's probably fucking 13.
Well, don't tell me I'm fucking boring.
You are
sorry. That was just so unnecessary and rude. Not
entertaining enough for your boy.
Well, then just leave. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Don't ask. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Hashtag fuck Kevin. I need another beer, dude.
Okay, I'll just talk to everyone.
Are you sure you want me to talk to everyone and you get to? Okay. What do you? Or Evan mentioned skinks, so the microphone buzzes when you put it on the counter. So if you could find like a fence lizard, I'm sure that would work, especially here in Texas. I know I find a lot of fence lizards and different skinks and shit like that. So I don't see why that couldn't work. But yeah, anoles are definitely tried and true. But I want to think like what would eat those like corn snakes that may be in the northern part of the range in like New Jersey. I just wonder what they eat.
Because there's not anoles running around.
Right.
Oh, was that boring for you, Kevin? I'm joking. Kevin's not there anymore. Wait, I missed the thing about skinks. So you feed skinks to corn snakes and to hognoses?
Just mentioned skinks like as a prey source for corn snakes.
Really?
I guess if you couldn't find anoles, I've never done it.
Yeah, I've never heard of anyone doing that. Like,
not like the skinks you're thinking of, I'm sure.
I know, probably don't. I don't know anything about skinks, but I feel like whoever has skinks has the blue tongue ones.
You can find skinks out here. You can find skinks most places.
Just little, aren't they like gross?
What? What context is that?
But would you not be nervous about picking stuff up from the wild? And
no, I'm saying you don't want to do that, but if you have to do it.
But if you have to, I mean, couldn't it have other things than parasites, like more intense things that you're getting that the freezer doesn't kill off?
More intense. I mean, I don't know what survives at like 30 degrees.
Some internal shit it could have
I opened up.
You opened up. Okay.
I opened up.
What'd you open up?
The Reptilinks.
Mm-hmm.
It was negative 20 degrees in there.
In the middle?
Like in the box, dude.
Oh, right, because it came in a I don't know what I'm
a fucking box.
The insulated box.
And I was
that's
like,
what
shit,
I was
like
of.
This was left out. Did it thaw out? I fucking temped it. It was negative 20.
That was good shipping.
And then like I touched it. I was like, oh, ice. And it was obviously dry ice, but I held it. I was like, and it fucking burned me.
What's the biggest Reptilink you can get?
I don't know.
Oh. Okay. Not helpful. Great. Thank you. Because I'm just thinking for like, really big like retics and stuff, would it make sense? Like, would it make sense for them to ever use Reptilinks for those really big ones? Depending on how big Reptilinks go.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It just doesn't.
You can't really imagine a sausage.
That was like a big old rabbit, like a rabbit size.
Yeah, it would have to be bigger than like those ground beef things. But I don't think the machine that ground it up.
Think about chickens.
Yeah, but have you ever seen the machine that does that? It only comes out so big.
There's some pretty like deer sausage. I've seen big slabs of like
plastic.
Deer sausage and shit.
I don't know. This is a silly conversation at this point.
It's not.
So Evan says skinks are used for green tree pythons on farms.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I think people think that if you get a farmed green tree python, that there's no way that it's going to have any parasites or anything.
What does that really mean, farm? Like, I don't know what you mean by that.
So farmed would be like bred in quotations in a farm in Indonesia. That's just a company.
Why are you doing quotations?
Country in particular, but because there's no quality control. They breed these, but they come out the same season as they breed in the wild. So quite frankly,
So
they could just be wild collected.
Just go get them out in the wild.
You're trusting some guy in fucking tire sandals that you're taking his word for it.
That he actually bred them.
He's just making money.
Right.
Dude.
He's just trying to sell them and turn them over.
You're trying to fucking feed your family. Why wouldn't you just
sell them?
So there's just not a lot of quality control.
And I mean, especially when we're halfway around the world, we don't know what the fuck's happening. There's no way to.
And they're not going to take the time. Like, we're going to want all of our green tree pythons to feed on pinkies because that's what Americans like over there.
Is that how Indonesians sound?
Yes,
is that your Indonesian voice?
Like. It'd be racist if I did anything else, right?
I didn't know why you need to change your voice at all. How dare you? Oh, why did you need to change the voice? And you're the one who said tire sandals, so let's not even. You said all Indonesian.
Yeah, but they're not gonna take the fucking time to fucking know. Think about. They're just gonna throw some fucking lizards, the things that they find outside,
and feed it whatever to get it to size enough to send it.
People think that farm bred or captive bred
are like
on a farm
are real
that's gonna be decent, or they're gonna be for sure farm bred.
But you don't know.
You're fucking trusting
someone. Is there farm bred in like America?
No, I mean, where captive born and bred is just farm bred.
Is it farm bred? Right.
But they're not native species. But I mean, you can have captive born if they're native species. So people will say captive born corn snake maybe found eggs in the wild and you incubate. It doesn't happen often because why would you do that at this point? But
not needed.
For things in like Indonesia, obviously, they're harder to breed here, so there's still a large market for them. So people are always collecting there, but it may not always be legal to collect there at certain times of the year. And
laws in Indonesia.
So they're all farm bred. Yeah, and I'm sure there's really strict regulations over there. People are checking all the time. USDA's in there,
all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So farm bred really is just like, it doesn't mean anything. In some circumstances, yes, but in a lot, like,
well, you can go to Bushmaster, which is your most trusted farm, I guess you can say.
Where is that? Because when I think bush, I think Australia.
Well, it's a guy in Boulder, Colorado, who just owns a farm in Indonesia.
So but does he regulate it more because he owns it?
I mean, you could say that that's going to be your best shot, but it's going to be your best shot. It's not going to be perfect. It's just going to be your best shot.
Yeah, the closer you're going to get.
Yeah.
Nathan said, want free iguanas, chameleons, pythons, or other exotics? Just come to Miami. They are everywhere.
Like fucking everything, dude.
Everything in Florida. I mean, it just seems like they're running.
That's why I don't know why we ever bring in tegus. Just fucking
go to Florida because of everything.
They're fucking everywhere. Like, I don't think anyone's importing green iguanas anymore, but there's a few. They're all in Florida.
But what's the point to import stuff when you just can go to Florida?
Yeah, I mean, there's still the Indonesian stuff, but
you can trust Florida better. Oh my gosh.
When my snake gets excited, especially right before
Why are you reading this?
It seems to get larger, particularly swelling in the head. Is this due to an increase in blood flow? I would say it's a sign of a healthy snake.
We don't comment on trouser snakes on this podcast.
Well, a lot of us keep them here. I mean, I would say 90% of us, if we're not counting you, 100% of us keep trouser snakes.
There's girls on here. Shut up.
It's really important to,
take care of your trouser snake. Well, I'm sure there's lots of websites that attend to that.
There's always humidity there, like
we don't talk about trouser snakes.
Oh.
That's not our area of expertise.
No, he imports from Bushmaster as well as
do you know who Harlan Wall is?
But both of them are highly trusted, good people who you can trust, even with the imported animals. I mean, I know that, but it's still the fact that it's an import. So if I want to, it's going to be an animal that's shipped overseas as a baby, as a fragile baby. So I just think it's My personal
You'd rather
opinion,
get
U.S. captive born and bred is the way to go, but they're super expensive. So I understand.
So
if you
people
can
like
do
Bushmaster,
that.
is he going in between Indonesia and America all the time to
He
check
does
on these
travel a lot,
farms?
yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, that makes me feel better that he's actually going to these places to make sure they're
And then I mean, he gets them shipped to Boulder before, I believe, and
checks them before he sends them out.
Right.
So he wouldn't send out anything that's like
visually sick or anything wrong. But
Mhm.
there's still things that happen. But
I'm sure if it was a thing, things happened a lot, then his name wouldn't be so respected. So it must not happen. You know, bad things must not happen.
It's the most trusted, but I'm saying it's still not the.
You just rather from America
pure.
not having to import from.
Then there's definitely no Indonesian parasites in there, but
right.
I mean, whatever.
Question. Total hypothetical. If tomorrow Australia dropped all their or a lot of their ridiculous import-export regulations, what do you think would happen to the reptile community? Like tomorrow.
Our collections would get a lot less valuable.
Do you think? Really?
Yeah.
Why? Explain that further.
Because we could just import all the pythons. Who gives a fuck if
you
one?
bred it, if you got it here, because you can just get it from Australia.
Yeah.
But it'd still be.
It will be captive born and bred in Australia, though. It's not captive born and bred in Indonesia.
On a random farm. It's from a good person.
Brothers Pythons who fucking breeds olive pythons consistently.
So you think people wouldn't want it from America? They wouldn't care about getting it from people in America anymore if they could just get it from Australia. But aren't there other species that come from other countries that?
But rough scales in Australia are like corn snakes.
Okay.
They're on every fucking table. They breed easy. They're fucking, I think, somewhere between $100 and $200. Here they're about $1,000.
Damn.
What do you think once someone in the U.S. fucking is like, fucking send over a box of 100 of those things for $100 and then brings them over and says $300 each here? They're all bought up. Market's flooded.
And it just becomes everywhere.
It sucks that you got rough scales for, $2,000 a couple of years ago.
when you can get it when people would sell them for $300.
Motherfucker, yeah.
Okay, you just use the F word 10 times in 5 seconds.
And then, like Evan said, pure jungles. But the thing is, pure jungles aren't as nice as the jungles we have now, unfortunately.
Really? Because just with all the
captive bred them to look like fucking highlighters.
So just look crazy.
Totally not.
So you think yours are better than the ones in Australia?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
But you can know that they're for sure pure. So what I would want to do is get pure ones
and mix them with your.
Well, no, not mix them. I want to keep them pure and keep on breeding the nicer ones. So I 100% know that they're pure.
They're the pure and the nicest of the pure.
That any of ours are pure. Because
there's just so much. You're not in Australia, and there's just so much
over in a sock,
right? And they're going through so much stuff.
And then some guy in '82 had them in a fucking 10-gallon with a rock on it and a red light, and then found some other snake that was from Australia and put them together, and then.
So as far as money wise, pure goes higher than looks. So like,
no,
would a pure jungle be more expensive than the most beautiful, or not the most, but a very beautiful highlighter? Like, which one would be more expensive?
No, because I would probably be the only one who gave a fuck that the jungle was pure.
And Evan, you and Evan would care that it's pure.
Evan would give probably 3/4 a shit. I may give like a little bit more than 3/4 a shit. Most people give like 0 shits.
That it's pure.
Yeah. No. I mean, like they want it to look good at the same time. It would be great if it's pure, but you can't. There's no way.
So you wouldn't be able to like charge more. Like if you got that pure from Australia, you wouldn't be able to charge any more money because people wouldn't buy it.
You may be on par with what they got. I mean, you have these gelatin jungles, which are
supposed
to be pure, locality kind of jungles, but they don't look good.
How are they pure
kind of
if
goldish brown and black?
How are they pure if they're here?
Well, it's a question mark at the same time. It's all
I just don't know how they can.
So maybe if there was pure, but then again, the floodgates would be open and there'd be so many pure. So who knows? I really don't know.
I haven't said exactly, but even Australia has the black and yellow. A wild caught jungle is like tan and brown and black. So right.
So it's just captive breeding over years.
So, but right over years, those pures you would make the best and best, and they would eventually meet what our captive born breds are.
Yeah,
but then why
in
wouldn't
Australia they've already done that? So
that's
they
what
would
I'm
send over the
saying.
nice
Right, they've
ones.
already done that. Made
but
that
then
beautiful
somewhere
one.
we'd still be like, well, maybe someone put a coastal to that.
You still wouldn't. You would still question the purity of it just coming over here.
Everything's hearsay.
You just never. You never truly know if it's pure unless you're getting it straight from Australia yourself. So the biggest change if Australia dropped his laws would be pure jungles. And what'd you say the other one was? The other thing that would change? Oh, you just said it would
rough scales.
Those are the
go
biggest
from like
ones.
$1,500 to like $300.
Damn.
I mean, I don't know.
So then is it a good, like I feel like a lot of times on this podcast we kind of complain about Australia's laws and stuff, but is it kind of a good is it kind of a good thing for Americans?
Cap on the market.
Right, kind of
for the Americans who are on the in team, for the Americans that are on the out team, fuck no. Unless you have money to be on the in team.
Right. But so it kind of it has its pros and cons for us having such strict laws. But obviously we're not Australian, but do you think Australians want those laws to be changed so they can get all of our shit? Or do you think
absolutely. They're stuck with just carpet pythons.
Right, but do you think then they would
and a bunch of other shit, but I mean, if any place is gonna just have to have their natives, Australia is a good place
to be because they have some great things.
But fuck yeah. I mean, even like Scott said, there's people who have corn snakes that he knows for sure. But
and they've gotten them somehow.
Underground, and they got them somehow.
Black market stuff.
Yeah, so, and those are probably very valuable. And here they're probably $15.
Which is just so crazy.
The same back and forth.
Right. So. It kind of switch a little bit because they would get our low one. They would get our low ones and we would get their low ones.
But for us, once a snake's over here, it's 100% legal. For them, it's always illegal. So a snake never gets legal.
So once, really? So even like corn snakes that got smuggled there, if they kept breeding them, breeding them, if it was born there,
it's them at all. Ever.
Wow.
Because if that gets loose, it's still the same thing.
It still affects the environment just as much, even if
which makes more sense.
Right. Because it's still going to have the same effect no matter if it was born there or born somewhere else.
Yeah.
But don't you think over time, it being born there would adapt to their environment? Have less of an effect? Or I don't
know.
Okay.
No.
I'm thinking it would get more used to their
a perfect climate for almost anything. That's
so nothing's gonna. Okay.
That's Aussie green trees.
What do those look like? I don't know.
They're not as good. Aussies wish they had Indonesian green trees.
So then why does everyone want an Aussie?
Because you can't have it. You always want everything you can't have.
Want what you can't have.
But only yellow. There's no red babies.
Oh.
And then I'm pretty sure from what I've seen are mostly just green. Maybe some white.
So there's
green.
No other.
But they're looking at Indonesians. They're looking at Jaya saying this is green and blue. And they're like, I want all these Indonesian species. And then carpet pie. Everyone wants, they want
what you can't have.
Yeah. Everyone wants what they can't have. That's why the whole market exists, because things are rare and things
So then in a way, if everyone could have everything, the market wouldn't be what it is today.
It would equalize to an extent, guess,
but would people still have the success?
The only way to create rarity would be through morphs. So
people would be so focused on
people. It's just because you'd put 20 morphs on something, and then that becomes rare because it's hard to hit.
And
then you're just creating scarcity. It doesn't actually exist. You're just creating.
You're just making it.
When scarcity actually exists with the Australian species,
because we can't get them.
But we've bred them for so long that it doesn't. Bearded dragons were smuggled from Australia.
Okay. God, I cannot imagine bringing that in like your pants. Or
you'll have to ask
something.
Tom Crutchfield. He straight up brought the
bearded dragon. I hope it was like a baby at least. Like,
I don't know.
Still, that's fucking crazy.
Had him in his underwear.
I don't even have those parts, and I still feel uncomfortable.
Well, they feed on trouser snakes.
I still don't like that. That's so crazy. So
switching gears, Nathan said, if I feed him a lizard and train a pinky behind it. Yeah, I mean, I've seen that work. I've seen a lot of people train.
Just go right behind. Okay. Have you ever done it?
No.
You just never had to. You never had to
No,
go
but
that
it
level.
seems.
I
mean, people do it for the Reptilink, so they feed a regular prey item and then they train the Reptilink with it, and then they start eating the sausages, so forth, whatever the fuck. But I mean, if it's eaten already, I would just fucking feed it.
So maybe Nathan tried Reptilinks.
No.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't have lizard yet, because there's no fiscal
thing to make lizards.
Yeah.
But did he? I can't remember. Did he say he tried frogs?
No, but frogs I haven't found works. So
really, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta.
So yeah, the anoles.
He's a really picky one.
the fact that it's eating anoles, I mean, that's. Gotta go with it for now, and then try to send things with anoles, and try to send all types of shit with anoles. And I think the training, training a pinky right after an anole may be a reasonable thing.
Right, because it likes the anoles already, so you can train it. And anoles are easier than lizards.
Have a frozen thawed anole and fucking wrap a pinky on its tail and fucking have it
just become a little chef, chef in the kitchen with however you can get a pinky around another animal or in it, or just any mixture of pinky stuff you can do. You go for it. Evan said he did it with a carpet that would only eat mice. He'd tie a rat to a mouse and try it and switch them. You tie it like with their tail? What do you?
What I did, my jungle got caught on mice for a little while, and then I just took a mouse and rubbed down a rat really hardcore with it, and then eventually it took.
So what's wrong? What's wrong with?
But I have one that only takes mice.
Right. What's wrong with carpets? Just only taking mice.
Jungles. It's only jungles.
What's wrong? But who cares? Why?
Well, because it's a smaller prey item, so do big meals less often, then do smaller meals more often.
Is it really a big deal? I mean,
it's not a giant deal. It's good because mine's a male. If it was a female, it'd be a different story. Mine's a male, so I can keep them small, which is always good, and also.
So what's the difference? Okay, if it was a female,
female, you want to feed more because they got to grow follicles. They have to lay eggs, and then they have to regain weight after.
So it's okay for female taking mice.
No, I'd rather have a female with rats.
But you said you want to feed more often. If you feed mice that are smaller, wouldn't you feed it more often to equal the?
Right, but that's not exactly. It seems like when carpet pythons are in the wild, they have giant meals. So I want to do giant meals.
Less
often.
But can't you just less often? Can't you give the amount of mice that equals the rat? It's like
yes, but then you gotta fucking give it 3 mice every time.
And you drop them in, they're gonna eat them all.
Yeah, but if you had a bunch of jungles, it's just a lot easier if it's eating rats.
Okay, it just seems I don't know. In my head, I'm like, okay, what is one more picking up an animal and dropping in the tub? Like. It just doesn't seem like that much more of an effort to me.
Well, because the jungle that I have that's a mouser, he eats mice, and then it takes 20 minutes for him to eat the mouse and then go another one. So it ends up
So you wouldn't drop them all in at the same time?
No. It makes it a 2-hour process of him waiting to eat.
Okay. Well, then I understand that. If you have to wait for them to eat the first
Evan
one. And
says if you have a medium rat, maybe you're paying $2 for a medium rat, but you may be paying $125 for a large mouse 3 times to equal that of a medium or large rat.
It just doesn't price wise. It's
just
cheaper.
Much fucking easier if you're just doing one thing. That's it.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Why wouldn't you just feed it a nose for the rest of its life? Because it's a pain in the ass.
Because it's just annoying. Again, humans making things easier for themselves. Which, I mean, if you're gonna take care of it, I guess make it the easiest for you.
Yeah. If your trouser snake doesn't spit, you have a problem. I would say.
Ew. That's gross. Why'd you have to do that?
He mentioned it.
He mentioned it.
I just thought 10 minutes
ago. Husbandry, taking care of trouser snakes.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Instagram. Well, no one's on Instagram. I guess 6 o'clock did not really work well for Instagram.
It doesn't. No one cares about Instagram.
No, but sometimes Palmetto Coast is on there. We have some people sometimes. So Instagram just didn't work. Still, fuck you, Kevin. 20 seconds. If someone comes on Instagram,
Yeah.
bye. Check out the podcast
Yeah,
next
they're
week.
all right. They're all right. They're doing all right.
You're fine.
But yeah, I didn't know that IJs can get stuck on mice as well.
What is it about
I've never
them
had an
that makes
IJ.
them like? What's the huge difference between a mice and a rat?
Mouse
Mouse and a rat, other than size.
scent.
They smell.
Slightly
smell?
different, I would say. I don't know.
That sounds
I
weird.
don't smell like a snake at all. Then
What?
I don't know. I don't have the sensory ability of a snake.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I
they
don't
seem
know.
like they. I mean, isn't it just like a father-son thing?
You mean like
Is
a
it-
mouse will grow up to be a rat?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Oh god, this is getting real stupid
I
real
don't
quick.
know how that works. I thought mice were smaller.
They're just small rats.
Yeah, that's literally what I thought it was.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, explain that to me
Move
real
on.
quick. So,
I don't know. They're different species, I believe.
gotcha.
I don't.
Equally as disgusting. But to snakes, they just have a different scent. And so somehow carpets just get stuck on the scent of mice and don't get off.
Yeah, for whatever reason. I mean, maybe it's more close to whatever they eat in the wild. I don't know.
Okay, let me make it clear.
Okay.
It's not dumb to not know the difference between a mouse and a rat because that's not normal things that people study. Y'all study that because you have to feed that shit. Other people in the world don't think about mouse and rats other than they're gross and they go in mouse traps.
Okay, mice live in mouse traps.
So, let's acknowledge that the rest
Everyone
of the
pay attention
world.
to the product of the Louisiana
Shut
public school
up.
system.
Yeah, we don't focus on the different. That's not in my
At
biology
least
class.
you can read.
There's no chapter
There is
on
no
mouse
biology
and
class.
rats.
You guys don't believe in evolution.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
God made rats. God made mice.
The
Same
whole
thing,
Louisiana
I'd say.
state isn't about God. Are you
I'd
kidding
say.
me? Get out of here.
Uh-huh.
You only know about the difference because New York is fucking covered in rats, okay? If we're gonna start shitting on states, don't get into that.
What?
New York has rats everywhere and it's
Yes.
gross. And that's why you know
But there's
the
a good public
difference.
school system where you get to read. Oh my god, man.
We don't all sound like the water boy.
Mm-hmm.
See, he is my Louisiana friend. I didn't know the word to use there.
Brother. Bye, you brother.
Yeah.
Get some.
But I like that. Bye, you brother. I like
Mm.
that. Thank you.
You know what a Nutri-Rat is, right?
Yes, everyone knows
You
a
guys
fucking
ate
nutri.
those
We didn't
for
eat those.
dinner.
No, they're disgusting. They live in the swamps. They have big orange teeth. He thought he saw a cat in New York. It was just a rat because y'all the biggest
The
fucking rats in the
they're
world.
huge.
Who goes out at night and fucking pumps New York rats with steroids? Because someone does.
Well, they feed off garbage. Unlike Nutri-Rats, I don't know.
So you're saying your state is dirty and filled with
Not
garbage.
the state. The city is for sure dirty.
Your whole state is
It's
just
for
dirty.
sure
and
dirty. The whole
gross.
state has nothing to do with the rest of New York, though.
Mhm.
Louisiana is just an armpit, a
No,
smelly
it's
hairy
not.
armpit.
No, ew, Evan's
See,
eating
you, Evan,
nutria.
and Wes can go eat fucking
Evan's not even
crawfish
from
and wraps
Louisiana, so he
together.
can't.
You might as well
you
be at this
can't-
point.
I mean, he
We're
really
splitting-
does.
we're
Evan
splitting
could
hairs.
be.
We're
Evan really
making
could
teams, and
be. Making
you guys are
teams.
all on the other team.
Yeah, I'd rather take my good ass crawfish, my good ass crabs, my jambalaya, my etouffee, my all that over. What does New York have? Rats.
I don't know,
Thank
Italian
you.
food and Chinese food and all
Mhm.
types of food.
Every city and state has Chinese food.
Yeah, but it sucks dick. Or bagels.
Okay, bagels. That's the one thing y'all have.
Why is my mom saying?
Your mom's on my side. Thank you. And she's from New York. And now it's hungry. It's okay. Louisiana is the way to go. Clearly better than New York. No one can name any other city in New York other than New York City.
Yeah, I mean that's
But everyone can name multiple cities in Louisiana.
Like what?
New Orleans and Baton
New
Rouge.
Orleans, but that's not even
But
real life, though. That's not even like Louisiana. That's
no,
like
we're different. We're different.
That's something else. And then there's whatever. What's that show? That gator show? Oh no! Now shoot him in the head! Shoot him in the head! When they used to hunt gators.
I know what it is, but I can't think of the name.
Fucking retards!
Stop! Can't read that. Wes says Joe's mom. Oh my god, we're not doing anything. Wait. Oh, New York pizza. Duh, y'all do have pizza. But hot dogs, you can get a good hot dog everywhere. That's bullshit. What do you
Swamp
put it?
Boys, yeah, that was the show.
You can get a good hot dog everywhere. Chicago dogs are a thing. There's no New York dogs.
Yes, there is.
What's on a New York dog?
I don't know.
Thank you, mother.
Gator Boy. I don't know. All the Swamp Gator shows
are in Louisiana.
It was all a thing, but yeah.
But that's we know that is not representative of all of the state of Louisiana.
Just 95% that is in New Orleans.
No, Baton Rouge isn't Cajun and swampy. Shreveport is a different kind of bad. It's not swampy, but it's just as bad. Lake Charles might as well be Texas.
There's no part of New York that I can go to where I'd be worried for my life.
There's definitely some parts of New York City where you'd be worried for your life. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, come on. That's a big thing in Louisiana, which I didn't realize till I left. That like North I-10, South I-10 is like a huge thing. But in New Orleans, that's not a thing. But outside
you
of
all
that,
consider civilized from South I-10 and then
so he's saying south of I-10 is not, but that doesn't make sense because like the super swampies are south.
Are totally south.
So I don't understand. Yeah, North I-10 is stinky. Yes, I agree with that. But
so now there's like northern Louisiana.
Well, because that's what I'm saying. Shreveport is northern Louisiana and it is way different than southern Louisiana.
Yeah,
it's a completely different part. And in New Orleans, I mean, I think the most craziest city I've been in New Orleans is Cutoff. I mean, not New Orleans, in Louisiana is Cutoff. Louisiana.
Cutoff.
It's literally called Cutoff because it's like at the end of America. Like it is like pretty fucking far south, and it is called Cutoff, Louisiana.
Wow.
Some great people. I felt really welcomed and accepted in that city. I felt so.
I bet there's just really good school system with a lot of.
We are so beyond off topic. I have a question question that's on topic. What? So okay, obviously Louisiana pine snakes. What other snakes are like Louisiana?
Speckled king snakes. There's a lot of good parishes with king snakes.
Isn't the Slowinski thing on the Louisiana or the Texas side?
Texas border, yeah.
And so are the Slowinski Louisiana valued as high as the Slowinski Texas one?
There's zero value besides what I decide to place on it because I'm the only one.
Because no one else cares about Slowinskis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
In your brain, are the Texas Slowinskis more valuable?
Because some people have Louisiana Slowinskis, no one has Texas.
Okay. Got it. So some people in Louisiana value them. Then if people have them, very little. You're saying, gotcha. But why do you like the Slowinskis? Just because no one else has them, or
that? And I like Emery's. And they're like $20 right now if you get them from someone. And I like corn snakes, and those are like $20. So Slowinskis are just like no one has either. You know,
are they
no one has
okay? Them. How are Slowinskis connected to Emery's and corns? I think we've talked about this.
Emery's and corns are really closely related, and then Slowinskis were, for most of the time before DNA testing, were thought to be just a hybrid of Emery's and corns. But it turns out they're totally different. And DNA sequences made them their own species.
Do they just look alike? Is that why people thought they were hybrids?
They're more of Emery's are going to be more of a gray background with a like chocolatey blotches on it. Corn snakes, for the most part, there's some red and oranges. There's some gray and browns. They're all over the place, but it seems like a mix of those two because it's just kind of in between that orange and red and that gray and blackish.
It just kind of seems like it has parts from
like
each. And
gray, chocolatey brown type of feel to it, but
they realize it's
It's a difference.
That was just
it looks exactly like
it was just a
if those bred
coincidence
together,
that it happened. That it happened that way. That it looks like the mixture.
I mean, they are bordering on both of their territories. So at one point, but they deviated, from being isolated at some point because of just probably fragmentation and like. If you're looking at like Castani National Forest in Louisiana and Texas, and there's just a few national forests that are very fragmented, so they probably started to adapt themselves, like
over time,
population over time,
make their own little thing,
become a little bit different. So
gotcha. Okay, yellow speckled kings, those are in Louisiana.
Yeah,
if they are just down here, but they are really populated here. I didn't want to be saying that.
And they're usually very, very high yellow with black. They're like poor man's diamond pythons. I mean, they're really cool
Never
looking.
heard that. The poor man's diamond.
I just made it up right now, but it fucking they're like speckled, like a diamond python speckled, and
but they're the same yellow, like a diamond
one. If you
one?
send Evan one, you have to send me two, because fucking I want some too. And I mean, you can get albinos now and stuff, and I've seen a few people at shows have them, but I mean,
some yellow speckled.
It's just hard because it's like no one wants these but me. It's fucking bullshit. Maybe I'll breed them and give them to Evan.
So it's just
that's pretty much
a side thing. You're not going to make any money off of it.
But they're so cool. They look just like.
But if they look,
pythons,
but then why?
If they look just the same, they're not rare anymore because anyone can get them.
But if they look just the same, why not get a diamond?
Yeah. And then, like he said, like the Mexican black king snake is the poor man's indigo.
Okay, don't say geez, Melissa West. I don't know this shit, okay? Thing.
I like turtles. Spotted turtles. I don't know what he's talking about, turtles, but... Evan
said he wants a baby snapping
turtle.
Are those in Louisiana a lot?
You can find a snapping. I'll find you a snapping turtle.
You can find in fucking the colony, probably. I don't know.
There's a lot of soft shells around here. It's pretty sweet. In the lake over there.
Turtles don't do it for me.
Either me, but I mean, whatever.
Don't get me going. It's not fuck West. It's not fuck. It will never be fuck West, mainly because you're from Louisiana. It will always be fuck Kevin.
Tame Louisiana.
It's not how we talk. Do I talk like that?
Not always.
Thank you. But just I've tried to make it clear in this podcast that I don't know anything about snakes. So he doesn't even
want speckled king snakes. So it's just me who wants the.
So he just says they exist there, but he doesn't want them.
No one
wants them. Evan wants them. You and Evan.
No, he wants the snapping turtles. He was talking about the turtles.
But, when he said send me one, he was talking about turtles. Got it. So you're the only one.
Nathan's fucking living off the land. He's eating iguanas and
he eats soft shell turtles in Florida. You eat that and you eat turtle in Florida? No one said fuck Evan. What is happening?
Well, Evan's not on team buying my speckled king snakes.
Oh, that's why it's fuck Evan, because he was talking about the turtles. Wait, excuse me. I need to acknowledge the fact that he said they eat soft shell turtles in Florida. What? That should not be a thing.
I don't know.
Well, I can't even fathom that.
That's some coon ass shit. That's some what I respect. No,
coon asses doesn't go out of Louisiana.
I would expect that in Louisiana, not Florida.
Is soft shell turtle like soft shell crab?
I'm sure it's
I like soft shell crab.
A little more swampy tasting, I'm sure.
Ew.
Jesus Christ.
So, okay, Wes says he doesn't have the room for yellow speckleds, but he can go catch them and send them to us. We'll make a trip to Lake Charles.
Well, no, I could just buy them for like $20 and a nickel.
Where? But you said no one has them.
People have them in Texas, but they're like trying to give them away.
Well, then if you want them, buy them.
Yeah. I'll have to drum up the market,
No, it's going to be a thing that you buy it and you're the only one who's ever going to want it. You probably will never breed it because no one's going to buy it. And because I'll
just send them to people.
Just gifts, Christmas gifts. That'll be our Christmas gifts this year to everyone.
Merry Christmas.
And Evan says turtle is delicious. I've had in Louisiana or New Orleans, turtle soup is a thing. I've had that, but not just like soft shell turtle. That.
Hey, you guys are savages.
But he says living off the land, so they really do eat soft shell turtle. Okay, Florida.
I respect it.
I don't respect it. I don't respect it.
I'd much rather a large, meaty mammal, you know? If I could take down a deer.
Well, they don't have those in Florida.
It's like,
Really?
yeah.
I didn't know they have.
But yeah, Evan would take a king snake.
Evan, use your social media prowess. I don't know if that was the right word
Prowess?
to say prowess. I don't know.
We've been
To find us
too much
to
on this
find
one.
us a male king snake for him to breed
Mexican
his
black.
Mexican. It's okay.
Don't tell Nathan where it is, though. He may eat it.
we need a male Mexican black king snake
I
that's
can't
close
trust any of you guys not
to
eat
Dallas.
them, man.
That's close to Dallas for us to breed his
Or
female
anything. I
with,
can't
and we
find
can
anything.
split the clutch.
Oh, so from May and July, I'm guessing that's when their breeding season is and laying season. It's illegal to harvest soft shell in Florida. But any other time
One
of
a
the year,
week?
you're allowed one a week.
Who comes in? Is there the soft shell turtle police?
My family demands at least 2 soft shell turtles a week. All right,
Should I go be a
motherfuckers?
soft shell turtle police woman
I think you should start harvesting them and selling them to
on the
people
black
like-
market during that time? During made it
Yes.
to get rich. Black market soft shell turtles, Florida. I
It's
knew
the
y'all
soft
were
shell
crazy, but like.
I mean, you'd probably be much more successful with meth, I'm sure.
but
But I mean, soft shell turtles all the same, so whatever.
Stop. Okay, we need to end this.
Evan will really find one, I feel like.
Well, I want it in the Texas area. We'll do it. Are you willing to split 50-50 in the clutch?
Well, I think I may have a clutch that I'm buying, but he doesn't know if if there's a list involved. And I want to buy the whole clutch, and then I'll just start giving all the males to Evan and Wes, I guess.
So
we're shipping off.
Okay, didn't know you were buying a clutch. You're from an old school person who still does lists.
Yeah, I got a list.
Can you explain list to people who may not know what that is?
List is what happened before Facebook existed.
So you would
say, I have a snake. You're like, I have a Mexican black king snake. Parentheses, very black. Like,
and then you just get people in your email.
And then people say, I want that without ever seeing a picture of it or asking any questions, and you take it. A lot of the people don't do that anymore, but you get very few old school people who still do that.
How do you get on the list from the emails? You just be like, hey, email someone and say, add me to your list?
Well, this particular person, yeah. So, like, would anyone like to be on the list for my list?
For the list for my list.
So, and then you get on the list, and then they send you the list.
And then they send you the list, and you buy.
You try to get on the list for the animal that's on the list. So, like, hopefully I'm the first on the list.
For the list of the list.
But I don't know.
But the site is a sight unseen list.
Yeah. The Mexican black king snake, I know it's pure though because it's a legit person.
So you're okay doing it sight unseen.
But I don't know if the Mexican black king snake itself has a list, which is on the list that I was on the list for.
So
you don't know.
So old school way is not the way to go. Clearly, post your stuff on Facebook.
But not
post
everyone
pictures.
has the means. But the thing
how
is,
do you not have the means to post pictures?
The market has changed a lot for Mexican black king snakes.
Why?
I don't know, for whatever reason. Overseas has been robbing a lot of the colubrids, so they're like, all of a sudden, cow kings are hot, Mexican blacks are hot. A bunch of corn snakes are being sent overseas, so it's kind of creating a
weird divide, kind of.
It's just taking up some of the supplies, so the demand's going a little bit higher, so the price is going a little bit higher. So some people aren't privy to that. Old school folk who are breeding like. You can find a person in West Texas who doesn't know how for like 30 years.
Who has no idea what's happening.
They don't know what's going
They're
on.
still sitting that list. And
yeah, but I mean, they have great animals with good stuff going
just
on,
keep doing it. Okay. Actually catches veiled chameleons, sell them on Craigslist for $50.
Nathan's
so like
savage,
Nathan,
dude.
do you just walk in your backyard and it's just animals galore? Like that's what it seems. He gets the lizards, he gets the anoles, he gets the turtles, literally just walk inside.
Florida, man. It's the Wild West.
I mean, I didn't know it was that intense. They're just up for picking.
Yeah.
And Evan said I'm for real fixing. See, I told you about fixing. Louisiana people say that. Evan's secretly from Louisiana.
I know.
We say fixing. I'm fixing to do this. male, we should partner up and do gray bands. What are your thoughts on gray bands?
Gray bands, I'll have to do the same thing as I did the hognose. That's what I'm afraid of.
What do you mean as far as like eating?
Switch them over from toads and shit.
And you would just rather get
I like gray
that,
bands though. They're fucking nice.
But you want something that eats like right. Okay, you're reading. You want something that eats the same thing.
Like a little preoccupied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it?
Well, corn snakes are just fucking easy, but I would do gray bands. Fuck yeah, if it's
worth it. Yeah, I don't even know what they look like. I'm assuming
I would have to put more work.
Assuming they have gray bands on them.
Yeah, but it's mostly the orange on the gray that looks really fucking cool.
Oh,
you've seen them before. I'll show
I
you
just
some
don't
more.
remember. You guys and me and my wife will go out for dinner after NARBC.
Sounds like a plan.
We don't even need in October, man. Evan. Are we planning for October?
I don't know when the one in Texas is, but
we went to it.
No, yeah, but that was fucking. When was that?
I don't.
That was in the.
Oh, that was the spring one.
I'm not sure if they do a fall one here. I don't know.
Is NARBC in a lot of states?
It is in Chicago, Texas, and then I'm gonna get fucked up with the other ones. There may be one in
Chicago,
California.
Texas.
There may be one in California.
So
they try to. That's pretty much.
Oh, it's in August.
I don't know.
August. Oh, you'll be gone for half of August.
For most of August.
Good old military.
Being Fort Hood.
Fort Hood. You think you can do some herping while you're in Fort Hood? What kind of snakes are near there?
Killing myselfing.
Oh my God! Stop! You don't joke about that. Remind me where Fort Hood is again. You literally told me last night and I forgot.
I think it's outside of San Antonio somewhere.
So you would, the same herping you'd be doing near San Antonio is what you'd be doing here in Dallas. Yeah, it wouldn't be any different. You wouldn't be finding any.
Just fucking around. Yeah.
You wouldn't be finding anything different in the San Antonio area.
It's kind of someone in the middle of nowhere, though.
So you might find something or another.
Yeah, maybe I'll just take some pics.
We'll see what happens.
But yeah, so Texas and California and Chicago.
It's only 3.
Yeah.
It's because I feel like NARBC, at least the name,
Florida's shored up, and then New York shored up too.
What does that mean?
Plains. So White Plains is obviously they're not going to take too much market share.
What does shored up mean?
Meaning, it's just done. Like it's fixed. Like everything's already done. So
I don't know. I still don't know what you're mean. What does
it's shored up? Like it's
what does shored up mean?
It's covered. It's covered. New York's already done. It's covered. It's fucking.
How so?
It has White Plains, so there's not going to be another NERBC there. And then there's Florida, which is Daytona, so there's not going to be an NERBC there. So they're shored up, goddamn.
Okay, normal people don't say shored up. You can just say there's no need for another show. But is it really possible to have too many shows?
Yeah, like White Plains happens like every 3 months now.
It's okay. It's consistent. Okay,
meaning,
gotcha.
Like there's too many shows
that happen a lot,
as well as in different places.
Okay, so what happens in Florida all the time? What shows?
There's Daytona, which is like the OG biggest show.
Does it happen frequently or just 1 or 2 times a year?
Like 2 times a year, maybe.
So then you could totally have an ARBC.
Yeah.
Like I understand New York not having an ARBC if they have like, White Plains monthly or whatever. But I feel like in Florida you could totally have one. And obviously there's so many freaking different animals you can have there. I feel like it'd still be successful.
Yeah, but the thing is that back in the day, that would be the first place that you see all the animals because in Florida, all the animals used to come through Florida.
Right.
So that would be the first place that you see all cool animals that you've never seen before. Tom Crutchfield would have his table, Strictly Reptiles.
Right. Because Florida's where there's so many different things. Right.
Yeah. But now it's more about captive bred. So now
they don't care about where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Got it. But there's
or you can just go travel. It's possible to travel these days. And word travels a lot faster.
So it's not the need for big shows. Isn't he's or how do you pronounce that? Maldonados says no, there's never enough shows. I think people would go to them.
Yeah, but if you've been to a White Plains where they have it like every 2 months,
you don't need right
because it's the same vendor, so you need them in different places all the time, or else it's just the same
thing over and over again. But like Florida, Florida's bigger than New York. Clearly, you could have something in the north of it, something in the little tip at the bottom.
Little tip.
I feel like Florida's a big enough, or long enough.
It's really long with a little tip.
Long with a little tip.
But Barron said his son is in boot camp in Fort Jackson.
Where's
Fort
Jackson?
West said accurately relaxing Jackson.
Where is Fort Jackson?
Georgia. I might fuck that up.
And then Evan said Killeen. Where's Killeen? What is that?
Is that in Texas? I don't know.
Is that where Fort Hood is? You don't know where you're going
in August? I don't fucking give a shit. They just tell you where to go, and you go.
You go, and you hate your life for 2 weeks.
You just do it.
Got it. See, he says we need shows in Florida. That's what I don't. I think Florida should be where most of the shows are, or a lot of shows are. There's just from this conversation, learning about all the different things you can walk in your backyard and see, and there's such a variety, and it's so constant.
Yeah, but I don't want those.
It's not all about you, babe.
Well, it's in South Carolina. I'm fucking retarded.
What? Oh, Killeen is in South Carolina?
No,
Fort Jackson is in South Carolina. Okay, got it.
What's Fort Benning's in Georgia?
Fort Hood is in Killeen.
I don't know where any of the Army bases are.
Glad I know you're going to Killeen.
I know where Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri is, and you don't. I don't.
Who cares
I
about that?
Forget.
Was that a very not happy experience in your life? Right. I don't think any of your military experiences have been that amazing.
Very, very delightful experience.
I mean, we know Abilene, Texas was pretty low on your list.
Dyess Air Force Base.
Hey, look, Florida people agree they need more. So if I can't imagine Daytona. That should not be the only big show in the whole state.
I'm sure
of Florida.
There's other ones. I think that like the Herp shows or the whatever the fuck the other popular shows.
Is it Repticon?
Repticons, yeah. In Florida. Yeah. I mean,
so there's some smaller ones, but Daytona is like the big one.
A little bit.
Okay. Yes, there's animals from all over the world.
Maldonado's Exotic said that his mom is friends with the owner of Strictly Reptiles.
I don't know what Strictly Reptiles is.
Strictly Reptiles. If anyone wants to know about Strictly Reptiles, you can read the book. What the fuck is it called?
Snaps Help. I don't know.
I don't have it in physical. The other one, Stolen World, is about Crutchfield and all that other stuff.
What
Lizard King is the one.
Oh, we listened to that.
Yeah, it's about Strictly Reptiles. Basically, they're the ones who brought in like a large amount of the green iguanas and stuff.
Illegally?
Like that. Not very legally. They were knee deep in some weird stuff. If you want to read the book, I don't have to talk about it's too much to mention. You might as well just read.
But Lizard King kind of gives an overview.
Lizard King gives you the whole story.
But Strictly Reptiles is still a major.
Oh, it still exists. I saw him at NERBC last time we were there. I didn't know that they were still going to shows, but they are. I mean, I'm sure they go to Daytona too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where are they based out of?
They're based out of the Miami area. I'm not sure exactly.
So it makes sense that they go
somewhere in South Florida.
Yeah, the Daytona one.
Yeah.
Got it. He says he has South American.
He's saying he has South America in his backyard.
That's basically what Nathan's made it seem like. In Florida, you just got freaking everything in your backyard. Like, but then you also live in Florida. So,
sweaty there. It's like a tinge bit sweatier than New Orleans.
And just not even going to go there, but there's lots Florida.
That's like where you see people eat other people's faces off.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
when they're only allowed to one soft-shell turtle a week, though. Yeah, remember that.
You eat one face and one
soft-shell turtle a week.
It's also
you're okay.
What do they call it? It's like Heaven's Waiting Room.
What? I've never heard that.
Go to die.
Oh, because snowbirds do that.
Yeah, it's Heaven's Waiting Room. Though.
All the old people are snowbirds. Yeah. That makes sense.
Hollywood, Florida, I guess, is where they're out of.
Actually, weirdly,
I've always heard of everything in Florida. I don't place much besides like Tampa, Miami.
Random question: are the people who do NRBC in Texas, Chicago, and California, is it all run by the same people?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you'd think they'd open one in Florida. I wonder why they. I don't know. Florida
just because the market. So.
But I guess like Texas is the South.
They didn't want to fuck with the fact that Daytona was such an established.
They didn't want to compete against Daytona.
They started after it, even though they've grabbed a lot of that market share. They started after it. I think it may have been a respect thing. I don't know.
Just like I don't want to step on your turf.
Yeah, don't step on anyone's toes. Stuff like that.
makes sense, but they could do it at the tip.
They want it, but the tip is where all the action is.
Mm-hmm.
Right at the tip is the most sensitive part.
Mm-hmm.
It's where all the shows are. But Daytona is more north. It used to be in Orlando, which is in the middle.
It's not
right
in
in the
Daytona
smack
Beach.
dab in the middle of the shaft. And then they switched over.
So wait, where is it now?
To Daytona, which
Right,
I believe
in
is in
Daytona.
northern. So I guess I'm sure there's one in Miami or something. I don't know.
Well, Nathan lives in Miami. Nathan, is there a big reptile show in Miami? We don't know.
There's gotta be.
There's gotta
be.
But it's right. You don't speak highly of Repticon, I feel like.
No, I've never been to one. I don't know.
Oh, okay. But they're all
NRBC
over.
NRBC is a different level, though.
Repticons are all over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's part of why they're successful and part of why they're like
not as valued.
Not as valued because Tinley only happens
In
twice a year, but people always go to the October one. Like that's even the bigger one. So, I mean,
so it's like when does
value goes up when
does the quantity lower the quality?
Right.
But I think NARBC could have more.
But I think Repticon does a good way of servicing a lot of smaller breeders in a lot of different places. So there's Repticon Memphis, where it's like, where else would someone breeder in Memphis may not want to travel to Texas to go to NARBC
or to Chicago.
So it's nice to have these shows in between these smaller shows to where you can get. And then in Tinley, like you're gonna want to have animals that are all $1,000 plus because that's
the big people,
show.
right.
All breeder, you just want pet quality animals on the table, stuff like that.
So you need that. It's a necessary thing to have the smaller ones for people.
No, it has a place for sure. And then Nathan said, "Don't know, to be honest. I've never been to a Repticon. Never really thought about trying to go."
I've only been to 2 shows. I've only been to NARBC and Lone Star, which is Lone Star
is not bad. It serves the same purpose as the smaller breeders.
But like Lone Star's, let's not even talk. Lone Star's ridiculous.
It's cute.
It's a little people. They have $2 beers, so that's why I like Lone Star.
With an old man.
But being someone who's like new into all this world, I think shows were a great exposure. I don't know how much Nathan is into or anyone else who's on here, but I think shows were just like it opened my eyes up to so much. Like that's where I really got into, like we saw those anneries and I really liked those. You just see it's different than looking up a picture or like things I wouldn't even think to like Google and see in a picture. I saw at the show, and it also showed you kind of a little snippet of how the market was like. I need from you talk like that ball pythons were a big thing, but when I went to NRBC, I really saw like
90% of it was ball pythons.
There's ball pythons fucking everywhere. Yeah. So it's like it gives you, it throws you into it. You see how what it really is. Like. I saw about albinos and how many albinos are everywhere. You saw some good I don't know, not environment.
You fuck with me with the hand motions.
I do it a lot. But what's the thing? Like what they put them in? I don't know. I can't think of the word. Cups? But no, just in a more general term, you saw good ages. You saw good
enclosures.
You saw good and you saw bad enclosures at the show. And so it just gives you
see good and bad everything.
Right.
And you see different animals.
So I think definitely for anyone, whether you're new to it like me or you've been in it for a while, I think shows are very beneficial for everyone because you just get a wide view.
It's hard though. Like Wes said, there's
a lot of ball pythons. You might not buy stuff. It's not, you go.
That's the thing with me. Like I go to see, like I may be very surprised. There may be like a blacktail crebo. There may be like some pine snake that I'm like, holy shit. But for the most part, I'm like, man.
Ball python. You have to go into it knowing that there's going to be mostly ball pythons, but
you can be surprised, and then also you get to talk to some cool people.
Or you could get $2 beer.
Or you can get beer at Knights of Columbus.
That's $2, and that's great.
Yeah.
And you still see we even Lone Star, which is very small. I saw green trees. We saw Mexican black king snakes, owls.
I should have bought that pair.
Gross roaches and gross all those bugs. So it's like yes, it's 90% ball pythons, but we still see the other stuff too. It's just on a much smaller scale. And it's definitely, if you're someone who wants to get into breeding, it's a good chance for networking.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the number one, is you get to talk to people locally that, you know, are doing the same shit as you. It's just people, it's rare that you find someone who gives a shit what you give a shit about if you're into snakes.
Yellow speckled. No one gives a shit about your yellow
just
speckled.
Snakes in general. I mean, there's 1% of the population that gives a shit about snakes, and then I may find another half of that 1% that gives a shit about Australian pythons, and another half of that half that gives a shit about a pine snake, and another half of that half that gives a shit about the same exact species that you're really into. So that's a cool thing to give that.
But you might find that right. You might find them.
Because that's the only motherfucking place they would be. And if you're in some of these places where some of the older guys don't use internet well, that's what I found out. Like,
they use lists.
like you get to some of these places, and these are dudes who do not give a shit about internet print
and social media or any of that.
They're old school as old school, and they can be the most knowledgeable on shit that no one cares about anymore. But
you get to talk to them, and it's, that you can tell they really know their stuff.
And it's like invaluable for sure.
So there's benefits to shows, like varied benefit, different things. And Nathan said he's not a fan of ball pythons. He likes more active species, which is your main thing. You think ball pythons are boring.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of pretty.
There's a lot of pretty out there.
There's a lot of pretty people. And he's shut up. He said he's thinking about breeding when he moves out from his parents in 2 years.
If it's something that's worthwhile that people want, then breed it.
Yeah, I mean,
or just have fun about if you can sell it.
Right, but if you want to do it,
what's up?
Do it. Go to shows.
If you're already keeping snakes and you want to breed them in 2 years, then you're already dedicated more than 50% of the people who breed snakes these days. So
yeah, and Wes said not every breeder posts online. Yep,
there's some people in the corner that you don't even know about. They're because you've
never heard of them because they don't. They call it the book face.
School guys, man.
They call it the book face, and
I got to pee so bad.
I have to pee too. We need to.
We went like 40 minutes over.
So I'm sitting on my leg right now because I have to pee. It's to that level that I have to.
Thank you so much for listening and for asking questions and for making everything fun.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank everyone.
Go Louisiana.
God bless us, everyone.
Fuck Kevin.
#fuck Kevin. Thanks, guys. Later.